I think the biggest one is about focus, especially like if you think back during the pandemic, it was like terrifying and also exciting. And I don't know, I just felt very swept up and carried away by things that other people were doing because I knew that I could do them too. And ultimately, I ended up getting myself spread too thin. I was building a house and running a brokerage.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Joined by someone I'm looking forward to chatting with, Amy Dills, who runs a boutique brokerage helping buyers, sellers, and investors buy great homes. So excited to have you on the show today, Amy.
I'm excited to be here, Michelle.
Awesome. I think our listeners are going to take something away from how you're supporting people to find the right strategies to purchase their homes. So let's dive in.
Awesome.
First off, for those who are not familiar with you and your world, can you share what your main focus is?
Our main focus is always home ownership because we think that owning real estate is the foundation for wealth building. So when I first got into real estate, it was actually because I bought my own house. I found myself broke, pregnant, no insurance, and trying to figure out what I should do with myself. I just graduated from college, so I got kicked off my parents' insurance. And at that point, having a baby was a pre existing condition. So I bought my first house at that time because the president was giving an $8,000 tax credit. And I knew that the birth of my child would cost $4,000. So I was up 4 grand if I bought a house. And the thing that I wasn't expecting was how that home ownership would lever me into learning about wealth, learning about budgeting. What is real estate? How does real estate work? So I bought that house, had a baby, learned how to be a grown up, and then sold that house and made a little bit of money, more money than I made in a year, most years, and decided that this real estate was a thing and I should figure out how it works. And that's when I went ahead and got licensed and started selling homes and began investing in real estate.
Awesome. And what markets are you operating out of?
We are in Minnesota and Western Wisconsin. So we serve the Twin Cities about an hour or two in all directions and the western edge of Wisconsin just over the St. Croix River.
Awesome. So, how did you go from, getting your license to having this brokerage?
Oh, that's a good question. Actually, when I had no plans or vision of having a real estate brokerage or teaching other people how to do real estate. I was really after it for solving my own problems. So I had been in school, I had student loans, and I did not want to have them. So I started reading finance books and I one of the books I read told me that I should get a second job. So my real estate license was my second job and my primary goal was to pay off those student loans in as short amount of time as possible. So I just hustled. I ran my mouth on the internet. I hosted open houses. I told everyone that I was a real estate agent, and I sold 19 houses in my first 6, 9 months in real estate. And at that point, had a tax bill that was bigger than I had earned an income the previous year. So I had another problem I needed to solve.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
During that time, I was really cranky about the brokerage that I had joined because they were charging me monthly fees for no value that was being provided that I was aware of. So I started complaining on the internet again and ended up at 100% brokerage, which was a good spot for me at the time. But ultimately, I had to learn everything and do everything and figure it out on my own. And then once I had been licensed for 3 years, which in Minnesota, that's what you need to become an independent brokerage, I decided to start my own company simply because that brokerage did not have direct deposit and I did not want to drive 1 hour every time I had a closing in order to get paid. So what started as just, again, solving my own problem turned into a really cool way for me to impact the lives of others. So people started coming to me and say, "Hey, I saw what you've been doing in real estate. I'd like to do that too. Can you show me how?" And we're still here today. We're like, I don't know, it's been 11 years now we've been doing this. And we've been as big as 20 something agents during the pandemic. Right now, we're about 10, 12 agents, and we're all set up to grow again in 2026.
Awesome. That's so exciting. What do you feel are some of the main keys that have made the biggest difference in allowing your business to be able to grow and run smoothly?
I think the things that make my business grow and run smoothly is remembering that it's not about me. I've always gotten into things to solve my own problems, but when people start working with you, you have to remember that you work for them. So for me as an agent or a team leader, I actually work for the agents. I think a lot of times a brokerage perspective has that flipped where the agents work for the brokerage. But if I'm not doing my job as a leader, and helping the agents win and grow their businesses, like we are all dead. And it's the same thing for buyers and sellers and investors. If an investor or a buyer partners with a real estate agent and the agent isn't coming at it from the mindset of I work for them, it always goes bad. Buyers feel like, "Oh, that agent didn't do anything. I found the property myself. I paid too much for it." But when we look at it as, "Actually, I am working for you right now. How can I help? How can we get you to the outcome that you're after?" Everyone wins and things go more smoothly.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned that you are also investing. What does that journey look like?
Actually, that one started out as curiosity. Once after my first year, I had this big tax bill. So then I got on the internet and I was like, how do I avoid paying taxes as a real estate agent? And I read again a couple of books that had some strategies and found out that investing in real estate is a great way to reduce what you have to pay in for taxes. So I've really found that being a real estate agent and a real estate investor go hand in hand really nicely because you can generate a bunch of income as an agent and then you can deploy that into real estate investments. So it started out with flipping, which again, a lot of people don't consider as an investment, but I always have to scratch whatever itch I got. So I started out with flipping homes, and that taught me how to work with hard money lenders and build a scope of work and hire contractors and price to sell and what problems come up as a seller when you are the seller and the agent and, all that kind of stuff. So now I had this experience that I could teach and pass on to agents and clients. I've done the same thing with rental properties, gotten some on the market, off the market. Then we can help agents and our clients figure out how to do that. I've done short term rentals.
If you're looking for consistent, high quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Currently, this is a ground up new construction that will be a longer term investment, but basically, we bought 25 acres, subdivided it into the maximum allowable parcels, built a house. We're living in this one. We'll eventually build on those other two lots, sell all three, and sail off into the sunset. Actually, I don't know what we'll do after that, but we'll probably go somewhere else.
Awesome. That is so exciting. What are some maybe obstacles or challenges that you've faced as an investor that you have now overcome and can see the lesson in hindsight?
I think the biggest one is about focus, especially like if you think back during the pandemic. It was, like, terrifying and also exciting, and I don't know, I just felt very swept up and carried away by things that other people were doing because I knew that I could do them too, and ultimately, I ended up getting myself spread too thin. I was building a house and running a brokerage and working with buyers and sellers, and I flipped a cabin and started an Airbnb, and I was doing a commercial development, like, it was just actually all too much at once. And so I was spread very thin financially, of course, but also like focus wise. So I think one of the biggest challenges, honestly, for people in general, but for real estate investors and real estate agents is, they're doing a little of this over there and a little of that over there. And then someone calls them up and asks them if they want in on this. And I think by nature, people who are attracted to real estate are opportunity seekers. And so it's exciting to see all these different ways that you could get into a new opportunity. But when you do that, you actually wreck the other ones. So I think the biggest lesson that I'm still learning every day, but I think is important to overcome is about focusing on focus and do less to do more.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's good to know what your end goal that you're focusing on is.
For sure. And give your work some time to compound too. If you're always moving this to that, moving that to that, you don't get the benefits of compounding.
Absolutely. So, what are you most focused on solving or scaling next in your business?
For us, we are focused actually on generating listings and getting to people before they hit the market. I think at present, there are a ton of incredible opportunities that are active on the market. And sometimes they're harder to put together once they've been on the market. You'll see a lot of great homes that are for sale or fixer uppers that could be a great investment, or somebody's first home. But sometimes when they get on the market, they get on for way too high. And then we have all these agents involved, and it just makes it not work for a lot of people. I've seen a lot of homes go to market and cancel or expire out. So I think we're going to have a huge opportunity coming up with bringing some of these properties back to market at an appropriate price that will sell, and also with just placing our buyers directly in canceled or expired listings that failed to sell the first time around. So I'm like pretty excited for what's going on in our market right now.
Yeah, amazing. That's awesome. What are some ways that you're looking to continue to expand your business and your personal growth in this process?
I think right now our main focus is simply on our agents. I think I love selling houses. I'm good at selling houses. I could sell houses all day long, but I think What's more magical now is watching new agents come on who've never sold a house and get their first buyer under contract, get their first listing and work through that process, and then take their experience immediately and help other new agents learn and grow and come in and learn the systems.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
I just think it's so beautiful. Even if you have like not a new agent, someone who's been in the business for a year or so, but hasn't really gotten to a point where they can quit their day job or pay their bills with their real estate income, and teach them how to go find business and actually have conversations that lead to contracts and just like really growing their own business because the more that the agents can do together, the more people we can impact. And honestly, it's just more fun. I can do whatever I want all by myself, alone in the woods, and only I will know about it. But when I can help all of these agents on my team, and then they can go help people in their worlds get into home ownership or get into investing or whatever they're interested in, we can just have a way bigger impact.
Absolutely. That's exciting. And are you also working with investors when you're on the brokerage side of things, like supporting them?
We do actually, because we're well set up from a tech standpoint, we can help buyers get into great properties and also keep our eyes out for investments on the market and off the market. I think a lot of times, like I said, when things hit the market, the pricing isn't right. And sometimes people want to drop the price and sometimes they don't. But also, if you're looking at things every day and consistently outworking there, you will find some really incredible deals that might not look like a deal from the face. For example, I've seen homes that were listed for 1,000,001, 1,000,002, and have price reduced down to 650. Like, someone might look at that as, okay, this is still a $650,000 home, but actually, like, this is a half price home, and you're not gonna have an opportunity like this, and it's a perfect move-in ready situation. So I think sometimes looking outside of the box and outside of some of the traditional MLS searches at different criteria and how you cut it up is a really, really great way to find great properties for people. And then also just like staying in good contact. Like one of the best ways I think to work with investors is to make sure you're in communication with them. So then when you find something, you know who you should call and send that deal to. And that can be really hard because everybody's busy. It's easy to forget about someone who might be the person who will buy the thing when you find it. But then when you find, a seller calls you up and says, "Hey, I'm getting foreclosed on next week. Who can help me buy my house?" And you know exactly this person can simply because you've stayed in communication. It's really win for everybody.
Yeah, amazing. You mentioned when we were chatting that you like to help people figure out the best strategies for home ownership. Can you expand on what that looks like?
For sure. I mean, honestly, based on my personal experience, that people should get their first home as soon as humanly possible. And if that means you just graduated high school and you buy the grossest townhouse in your neighborhood that you can afford and you live there with five of your friends and they all pay you a couple $100 a month, I think you should do it because someone is going to. Why shouldn't it be you? And I see so many people delaying home ownership to the point where they have all this extra stuff. They've got kids in school districts and spouses and aesthetic goals that might limit them from actually making a purchase. And when you get that first house, even if it's gross and it smells bad and you have to wear your shoes inside for the first little bit until you get the flooring replaced, it's going to build you as a person while it's kind of going to work part time for you. So if you're a high school student or a college student and you buy your first house and you get a couple of buddies to rent from you. Now you have your mortgage getting paid down every month. Your living expenses are lower, and you're probably going to hold on to that for a while. Eventually, you're going to sell it. You're going to buy like a little bit less gross of house. And now your first gross house bought your second less gross house, right? And you're going to live there for a while. Maybe you have roommates now. Maybe you don't have roommates. But the whole point is, if you were renting and you just kept renting and kept renting, you're never going to walk away from a rental with 13 grand or 20 grand or 50 grand to put down on your next property. You're probably not even going to get your deposit back. And so, really, home ownership is that foundation that I think a lot of people are saying, this isn't for me. I can't do it. I don't know how. Or they're saying, I'm not going to buy until everything is perfect. And we love to sit down with people, see where they are, see what could be a fit for them, and find a path to get there. It's not always, here's where you're at, here's what I want, let's go get it. Sometimes it's a year, sometimes it's 2 years. We've had people we worked with for 3 or 4 years before we got them into the right situation. But you'd be surprised how many people can get into home ownership within 12 months if they want to, if they make a plan and work it.
Yeah, amazing. That's such an interesting perspective. What would that kind of plan look like?
For a lot of people, it's actually just going through the process, right? So, just like you shouldn't talk to Dr. Google, you probably shouldn't take to the internet if you want to buy a house because there's so many opinions. You probably also shouldn't talk to mom and dad or your coworkers or your boss because people who've done it one time have one experience. And a lot of people haven't done it in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and they're the ones who care about you the most. So they're going to have more conservative opinions. So I think the first step is always talking to somebody who is a professional and does this every day and sells hundreds of houses because to them, this is a process, and we need to figure out how to work you into a process that's predictable. Then I think we want to talk about that person's situation. Is it, I'm drowning in debt, so I'll never get pre-approved for a mortgage? Is it like I can only afford this much a month, so I need to save up a big enough down payment so that I can get something at that price? Is it sometimes the mindset of, again, this house needs to be pretty and perfect, and I don't even want to paint or change a light fixture, to like, okay, actually, guys, see this cute house? See this gross house? They're the same. In order to get it from here to there, it could be a weekend warrior project or $5,000 or what have you. I think a lot of people at the beginning just feel so overwhelmed and afraid about what it's like to hire a contractor. How much is this going to cost me? But when we can kind of work through the process of how things go from nothing to something or from stinky to beautiful, like it gets less scary as we create the clarity.
Yeah, absolutely. That is such an awesome perspective. Thank you for sharing. So, before we wrap up here, if someone wants to reach out, connect, learn more, where can people find you?
I think Instagram is the best place. I'm always running my mouth on the internet. My Instagram is Amy_Renee, and that is spelled Ranae. So it's a little weird. Amy_Renee. You can find me on Instagram. And if you are a real estate agent and you're struggling with some of the objections that we hear all the time, like, I'm not ready yet, rates are too high, maybe next year, I'm going to wait, I have a super cute little cheat sheet of words you can use to handle some of those objections. So just get in my DMs and type objections, and I will get you that cute little handout.
Awesome. Well, appreciate your time and your perspective. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And for those that are tuning in, if you got value, make sure you've subscribed. We have more conversations with operators like Amy who are building real businesses. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.